Good morning and welcome to the final day of this LV Insurance County Championship match between Northamptonshire and Middlesex. You are watching live pictures from Wantage Road on the Northants live stream powered by Dafabet. My name is Sam Keir. I'm joined by Dan Jadzovic, and we are in for, well, we're certainly going to get a result today, I think. Northants requiring a further 89 runs to win. They are 30 for 1 in their second innings. Hassan Azad is 14 not out, and the night watchman Chris Tremaine 3 not out. And you'd have thought Northamptonshire should wrap this up at some point, either late in this session or early in the next session. But Middlesex will still have hopes of causing a remarkable turnaround. Wickets have fallen quickly in this match. We've had 31 wickets in 2 days' play, effectively, given that day 2 was washed out. And you would say the only hope for Middlesex now is to strike early and to strike regularly. It'll be Hassan Azad on strike. He is 14 not out from 26 balls, and the Middlesex captain, Toby Rowland-Jones, will bowl the first over of the day from the Lynn Wilson Centre end. Delighted to say, as well as myself and Dan, we are joined by Ricardo Vasconcelos up here in the commentary box. Welcome, Ricardo.
Yeah, thank you. Good stuff, that.
Yeah, on the money straight away, Toby Rowland-Jones, but well left by Hassan Azad, as we've seen throughout his short Northampton's career so far. He knows where his off stump is, Ricardo.
Yeah, he was kind of brought in to do a job for the place that we needed, and he started really well. Fair play to him. He's coming in, taking his chance. So yeah, long may that continue. And when Emilio's back, that thing gives the coaching staffs a few more headaches now.
Mm-hmm.
What's the mood like in the dressing room this morning?
Yeah, it's a good move.
He's gone. Well, that's exactly what Middlesex wanted. The early breakthrough. Hassan Azad left it alone, but it came back in and whacked into his pads. No shot offered, meaning that even if it has hit him outside the line, it can be given out. And that looks pretty good for Toby Rowland-Jones, probably hitting the top of off stump, and that is exactly the start Northants didn't want, and exactly the start that Middlesex did. That just keeps things interesting.
That's a magic ball to get second ball of the day, isn't it? Starting your innings again, day 4, 89 to win, and Rowland-Jones serves you up one of those is a tough pill to swallow early in the morning. It's looked incredibly tough out there for both sets of batters. The seam bowling that we've seen over these 2 days of Test cricket, 2 days of county cricket that we've had has been amazing.
Yeah, it's not been easy. I don't think there's been anyone out there that's gone in and played strokes and timed the ball from the get-go. It's been one of those that you really got to battle hard and ultimately runs to get started, and then it becomes easier, like we saw with Keezy yesterday and also Ryan Higgins in the first innings. But yeah, it's the type of pitches I think that we're going to look to prepare this season. Good wickets that's got stuff in there for both batters and bowlers. It's got nice pace, which is what the batters also want.
Is that a conscious decision to maybe try and get a few more results here at Wantage Road?
It's, I think, a conscious decision throughout the country.
Yeah.
With the point system changing and draws being less favourable. So you got to try and force the results where you can, but in saying that, we're not going to go and use things that are totally in favour of the bowlers. There's still going to be an equal balance. I think our message to our groundsmen is good wickets that can produce results late in day 4. That's our plan.
And given the conditions we've had, I think they've done a pretty good job. But the bowling has been superb from both sides in this game.
Yeah, it's been high class. I think everyone that has got runs had to work really hard for them. It's exactly what you want as a team when that's what you've got in your unit, but also when you're going out there facing it, that you want to be in the battle, and it's the best way to improve yourself as well, by facing tough bowlers in tough conditions.
Sam Whiteman is the new man, the Australian overseas player. How much he would like to make a contribution here after a tricky start to his Northamptonshire career. Toby Rowland-Jones has started today in fine fettle. 5 balls of this opening over the day. No runs and 1 wicket.
Using all of that experience that he's got over the years of county cricket and the test caps that he's picked up as well. And giving Middlesex a lead from the front example as well. No better kind of opportunity for a captain of a cricket team to take an opportunity like this and kind of show the rest of the team that there is still something here to fight for.
Yeah, he started the season fabulously with the ball, Toby Rowland-Jones.
We do have Northant's most famous cricket fan, Wendell.
Yes, he's back in today. Hasn't been here the last couple of days.
You missed him?
Really good to see him. Yeah, he gives everyone energy.
Yeah.
Every time we see Wendell, he's out there waving his flag like he is now. Doesn't stop shouting, doesn't stop supporting. He's a great man. He's a legend. Everyone loves him.
I'm desperately trying to get him in for a stint in here. I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
I'm sure he'd love to tell you about how he's the best off-spin in the game, and just since I got here, he's been begging for a chance to get out there and come to training. He's come to a few of our training sessions. Yeah. Rip's got him in to have a bowl.
Has he got anything to offer?
He's not bad, to be fair. Yeah, he is good. He's got massive hands, so he does get some good rip on it.
Bit of bounce as well. He looks like he's about 7 foot tall from this far away.
He is massive.
Yeah.
But guys were just trying to slog him. If I'm honest, when he came in, I remember Josh Cobb whacked one so hard back at him, and he just sticks out his hand and just bang straight in. They are massive. Makes the ball look so small.
It's Ethan Bamber with the first over of the morning from the David Capel end. Chris Tremaine, who did his job as the night watchman last night, now hoping to make a dent in this small target.
He's been all kinds of impressive throughout this game, Ethan Bamber.
Yeah, really has. I'd say the pick of Middlesex's bowlers. Toby Rowland-Jones obviously picked up 4 wickets in Northamptonshire's first innings, but in terms of accuracy and pressure, then Ethan Bamber has been bang on the money. Would you agree with that, Ricardo?
Yeah, I mean, I faced him a lot last night. I faced a good few overs from him, and he gave me nothing, to be honest. I was trying to move around the crease and put him off his length, but he just stuck to it, and he kept hitting his areas, put it both ways. He's got a lot of skill. Yeah, and that was actually his first class wicket a few years ago when he
really.
So when he got him out, when he got me out first innings, I was his first and his last, well, his latest. That's just
horrible episode of Deja Vu.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I won the first one. I was on 100th. But yeah, he definitely won the battle this game. He has come on it really well in the last few years, and he seems like a good prospect for the future.
Runs for Chris Tremaine, 3 of them in the end, with that expanse of outfield in the west side of the ground, offering plenty of space for the ball to be placed into. Just the one man out in the deep on the leg side. It's Luke Holman down in front of us at third to the right-handed batter. And now at fine leg to the left-handed Sam Whiteman. Otherwise, we have 2 slips, a gully, a point, a cover, mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket, and that man at fine leg.
Has Chris Tremaine been sent in with a Nighthawk style license from the coaching staff today, or is it stick out there and bat for as long as you possibly can?
Not that I know of.
No? Okay.
I wasn't in those conversations. But I imagine he'd be there just to play how he plays, but that time, the longer he's in there, the easier it will become for the next person. And with a target like this, you've got to work in tens. And if he's out there for any sort of partnership, you can hear the Middlesex lads out there now. They're quite loud and cheery, but the longer we go and the closer we get, the quieter they'll become. And I think that'll be his job, is to kind of take that energy off of them.
Which is a skill in itself, isn't it? To really kind of mentally wear down your opposition. It becomes as skillful, I think, as being quite fluent with the bat.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got their kind of different roles. That's something what Hassan would do really well. He kind of wears people down, earns a right to score his runs a bit later on. Whereas other players, I'd say like myself, try to put the pressure on in other ways. But yeah, Trem's got himself a first-class 100, so he can hold a bat. So I think he would just be there to play his normal, natural game.
And as an opening batter, do you like batting with someone who has a sort of differing style at the other end, so that you've got a bit of a contrast between the 2 opening batters?
Yeah, I do. Just because then it forces bowlers to change their lengths almost when they're bowling at the different batters. I think that's something me and Emilio have done well together, because he's a very tall person, and obviously I'm not. But what he can go forward to and what I can go forward to, for example, are 2 different things. His back of a length ball, I can sometimes pull those, so it becomes tricky for bowlers to kind of negate those 2 types. Whereas if you have 2 very similar people, they can kind of settle in and bowl the same sort of stuff every ball, which then kind of makes it harder for us.
Similar benefits you get from having right and left-handers, I suppose. The lines change in that instance, but as you said, the length's going to have to change for those that are going to be differing in height.
Yeah, exactly. Any sort of 1%ers like that can help you massively. You're not going to pick a side based on that, but
no.
When
Tall
those
right-hander, short lefty, and
when those things do come into play, it does help.
More runs for Chris Tremaine, single into the onside. Yeah, Toby Rowland-Jones, 12 wickets in his 2 matches so far, puts him equal 3rd on the list of wicket takers in Division 1, behind Mohammed Abbas of Hampshire with 15, and our very own Chris Tremaine with 13.
Clash of the Titans next week at Wantage Road then?
Absolutely. It's a lovely shot by Sam Whiteman. Will it get to the boundary? Not quite. Actually, the longest part of the offside boundary there. But they come back for 2, and Sam Whiteman is off the mark, and that will settle the nerves a little bit for the Australian. What's Sam been saying about early season English pitches?
They are very different to where he's used to playing. I think his first net session, he got bowled quite a few times leaving.
Interesting,
because he leaves a lot on length down there in Australia, so he's had to get used to not being able to do that here. But he's really enjoying it by all accounts. He's fit in well, and I'm sure that score for him's just around the corner. He's too good a player for it not to be. So
yeah.
They still play their first class cricket for Western Australia at the Wacker, don't they? I think all the internationals have moved into the into the new
Optus Stadium.
Bowl or stadium, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, the whacker and the bounce are synonymous with one another.
Do you see your role with someone who is new to these conditions, like Sam? Do you see your role as an experienced player in English conditions to sort of give a few tips, or do you wait for the guy to come to you?
I'd say you kind of wait for them to mention something to you. There's nothing worse as a batter when you trying to battle something in your own head and work something out, and someone comes and adds something that you feel could be unnecessary and just cloud your thinking and things like that. So yeah, we have an open change room where anyone can say anything to anyone, where as long as it's in a positive way and you're looking to help the person. Just my personal viewpoint is I would wait for someone to do it, because I don't want to say something that then puts doubt in his mind and things like that. So yeah, we have had a few conversations where, like you said, about lines and lengths and stuff that you can look to leave, and where you should look to score. And what I said is, from what Kumar Sangakkara's interview last year that he did, who's always been my idol, is always defend straight and look to score square. With how it swings and seams here, when you're looking to score straight, you can sometimes get undone. But if you're scoring square, you're going with the seam.
Shots there of Wendell vigorously waving the Northants flag, getting behind the side.
And that comment from Kumar, no more important than what we've seen in a match like today, or the match like we have had over the last 4 days. The lateral movement that's been on show has been impressive and extravagant throughout. So to take, as you said, take that kind of feedback and those comments on board is going to be really helpful.
Yeah, well,
he scored a few test runs as well, didn't he? He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he's very good. But yeah, I'm saying that I tried to score square, and I'm sat here in the commentary box. So there's multiple ways to do it. That's just the way I like to. True. I like to go about it.
There's worse places to be sat.
Yeah,
I know you'd rather be outside.
That's not me saying anything about. Yeah, it's just I'm out is more what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
Chris Tremaine doing a great job here, especially after that early wicket. Just calming the nerves, sapping the energy of the Middlesex fielders and bowlers. He seems like a great character, Ricardo.
Yeah, he is a legend of a bloke. Just everything he says in that accent just sounds funny to me. But he's been great around the lads. He's settled in straight away.
And he's bowled beautifully.
Yeah, he's been so good with the ball, and even in the field, he's been diving, throwing himself about. The catch that he took off his own.
We got very excited about that. Yeah, that was
unbelievable.
Please don't use the pun again.
It's yours for the taking, mate.
Yeah, he's got a nickname that Sam's told us. They call him the cut snake.
The what?
The cut snake.
The cut snake.
When you cut the head off a snake, it rattles around and it's crazy. So, yeah. The cut snake.
We've had some good nicknames. We've got a slight delay here with some movement in front of the sight screen. I love, as a supporter or spectator, I love how animated movement behind the sight screen makes everyone on the pitch. It's like the thing that winds people up the most.
Yeah.
It's like a bonding experience, isn't it? The umpires collectively gather the players, and the players join in, and everybody starts waving and pointing at the right person. And
if you move quickly,
then
everyone's fine. But if you panic, then it's like the pressure increases. The players will shout louder, "Move, move!" And you think, no, the guy hasn't got a clue what he's doing.
Is it me? Am I the problem?
Is that something you would relate to, Ricardo?
Yeah, it is. It's more frustrating when there's not a lot of people in the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's so many places someone could sit. And they choose to sit right where they're not allowed to. that's why people get very animated. But
Yeah.
Well, also it's especially as a batter, it's goes through your pre-delivery routine, and you look up and suddenly there's a high-vis jacket in your eye line. It's potentially unsettling, right?
yeah, it's for me. It's not when they're moving is when it's the problem. When they're still, it's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
It's when
Catches
something
your eye.
moves and it kind of catches your eye,
Yeah.
and then takes your focus.
Wee. And you certainly have to know where your off stump is this morning to Toby Rowland-Jones, who is extracting a bit of lateral movement off the pitch, as well as some trademark bounce.
You know, it's a tight leave when the batter pulls the hips back as it's
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
up.
An attacking field at both ends, as you would expect from a side that needs wickets and needs them quickly. At the moment, Sam Whiteman and Chris Cut Snake Tremaine are playing watchfully.
It is, of course, free entry here at the county ground today. So if you are listening and you are in the area and you fancy popping down for a little bit and watching an enthralling finish to this game, then you're obviously going to be very welcome. Plenty of places to sit on a nice Sunday.
Yeah, but not a bad number in,
Not at all.
given that one way or another you think we're probably looking at a finish sometime early in the afternoon session, you would think. And Sam Whiteman looks to cut behind square, just plays it into the ground, and it's fielded by the man at gully, who I think is Ryan Higgins or Max Holden, one of the two. Ryan Higgins.
I suppose Sam Whiteman's strengths are going to be square of the wicket.
Yeah, from what
Yeah.
I've seen, is he's almost like Rocky in the way that he defends that off stump like it's his life, and then looks to pounce on anything with a bit of width. Yeah, obviously haven't seen much of him, but from early days,
What you've seen so far, yeah.
that seems like his strengths.
Bit of carry for Ethan Bamber.
Still plenty on offer for the Middlesex bowlers. Keep them interested.
Yeah, and I think as much as there's been assistance for the bowlers, both sides have made the most of it.
Yeah, when there's movement like that, you got to make sure your lengths are right on it. If you get carried away with the movement, plays and misses from slightly short of a length, gives the batters more time for the ball to move and batters to actually miss it. So you got to make sure you're fully enough to get those nicks and get the LBs and the bowls, which I think both sides has done really well.
Certainly, throwing back to day one with the bowling attack and the spell that started the day off from Jack White and Ben Sanderson. Obviously, you stood at first slip throughout that entire session. They didn't look like they bowled a bad ball between them through that opening kind of hour and a half. That must have been, well, sat in the first class seat watching that come through. It must have been really enjoyable.
Yeah, it's good to watch.
Big drive from Chris Tremaine, his first really expansive shot of the morning.
Yeah, there's nothing worse when you're in the slips and you feel like you're not in the game. You kind of drift, but there you felt like you could get one every single ball, which is credit to the bowlers because they just didn't miss. And it was Sando's day, but next time it's going to be Jack's because he bowled just as well.
We were saying yesterday there's a lot of plaudits, quite rightly, about Cook and Porter. Shot from Chris Tremaine. That is a lovely shot. He just leans on the ball and it races to the mid-wicket boundary, and Chris Tremaine moves on to 11, the score onto 40 for 2, and the runs required down to 79. Yeah, we were saying obviously those two quite rightly get a lot of plaudits, but Sanderson and White as a new ball pairing are not far off in terms of their skill and their difficulty to score off.
Yeah, it's quite a similar pair in many ways. None of them have great pace, but what they lack with that, they make up with the skill, and they just give you nothing as a batter. You feel like all of a sudden you face 10 overs and the scoreboard's gone absolutely nowhere. And that stage, if you're going at 1s, 2s and over, you lose 2 quick wickets, you 20 for 2, whereas if they had given you a few more balls, you could be 40 for 2 after 10, which is, I guess, the way England have gone it.
Yep.
If you score quicker, then it leaves you more spaces, well, to lose those wickets without it being too detrimental to
Didn't
the
carry?
scoreboard.
Or did that just go straight off? Has he little feather on that one as that's gone through? Must have done, mustn't it? But I don't think it's got nowhere near carrying.
Yeah.
Oh, just short. Not far away. Not that it matters because it didn't carry. But we are now Northamptonshire under 80 to win now. 79 runs left for Northamptonshire to chase down. The round of applause that extended into the commentary box from Ricardo from that 4 from Chris Tremaine certainly sound like the loudest of the match so far. So I think that's testament to the people of Northampton that have turned up on Sunday to watch this.
Yeah, there's a good smattering of people who have taken advantage of free entry at Wantage Road today. Talking of the bowlers in Division 1, Ricardo, we've mentioned those 4, but then you have people like Roland Jones and Murtagh, who's not playing. The guys at Nottinghamshire, just giving us an idea of the step up. Now we're in our 2nd successive season in Div 1 for the first time in the club's history since the introduction of 2 divisions. What is the step up in quality of bowling like from Div 2 to Div 1?
Yeah, it's a big step up. Division 1 is just relentless. There's no real bowler that you can look at in any of the teams that you can say, right, you can sit on the rest and look to score off this guy, which is sometimes the case in the Division 2 games that you play in. I mean, next week we've got Notts, who I'm not sure if Broadie's playing, but you've got Broad.
I think you've got Hampshire.
Oh, we got Notts next game. Oh no, we got Hampshire. You're right. Sorry.
Which is easier, right?
Which is
Abbas,
Barker,
Abbott.
Fuller, Abbott. Yeah, which is probably the best, if not maybe just behind Surrey, with the 2 best bowling attacks in the country. So
2 more for Sam Whiteman. Well, it's an international standard bowling attack that Hampshire have. The Mohammed Abbas still picking up Test. I mean, he feels like the type of guy that's kind of built to bowl in England. Mohammed Abbas. Carl Abbott retired early from South Africa duty, and then Keith Barker as well. So experienced, and no discredit to obviously the guys in the Northants dressing room are going to go toe to toe with them, and if they bowl as well as what they have done in this game, they're going to be a real handful for Hampshire next week. How much, obviously the county championship feels like it starts earlier and earlier each year. How much of a difference, or how much more challenging is it to open the batting in the county championship in April compared to what it would be in, say, June, August kind of time? Is it noticeable?
Yeah, it is a little bit. But I think over the last few years, the first game of the season's actually been a really high-scoring game, just because...
Shot. Sam Whiteman with that cut shot we were discussing earlier on, and it'll just get to the boundary. It is a long boundary, but that was a glorious shot, as Ricardo described. He'll make sure he's covered his off stump, and if there's any width, he is onto it like a flash. And Sam Whiteman picking up 4 runs to take his score to 8. Lovely shot, Ricardo.
Yeah, that's pretty much, I think, his bread and butter there. That's what we're talking about. He defends for his life, and then anything bit of width he bounces on. But yeah, the first game of the season, the groundsmen have 6 months to prepare that wicket. I know. Sharp.
And this time on the onside, Sam Whiteman showing that he can play all around the ground. It was over pitched, on the toes, and Whiteman dismissively pushed it through mid-wicket area to pick up another boundary.
Wendell with the 360 flag wave down at deep backward point there as well. I think he was quite lucky no one was walking behind. Hopefully he had a cheeky look before he started waving that flagpole.
I think it's probably pedestrians beware. You know, you take it into your own hands.
I think so.
Yeah, it'd be great to see Sam Whiteman, you know, make a significant contribution here. It'll be really good for his confidence, but also obviously for Northants in this game, but also going forward with their overseas batter settling in. Oh, and Tremaine offers a tough chance.
I think he might have got a hand on that.
Yeah,
you know?
it was a diving effort from Ryan Higgins, and it will go down as a chance, a tough one.
That would have been spectacular.
Yeah.
If he'd have held on to that, that would have been an absolute specky.
Yeah.
Just out of shot on the live stream, unfortunately. But if we can get another replay from here we go. We'll get a better replay on this one.
Yeah, I'm not sure he did get there, but it was pretty close. Would you have taken that, Ricardo?
Tough to get there from first slip. But
See, that's the answer. I've got so much time for that answer.
Yeah, get back in your box.
What do they say about silly questions?
Yes, fair play.
I'd like to think I'd grab it, but
As you said,
Who
walking
knows?
across from first slip with a...
that would have been a really good
Yeah.
catch from first.
Slightly different role for Sam Whiteman, more so today, but an opening batter by trade. Batting 3 on the scorecard for Northamptonshire. Obviously, the night watcher of Chris Tremaine has bumped him down 1 more to number 4. So a slightly different role for Sam here.
Chris Tremaine groping at that one. Certainly got a big stride, Chris Tremaine, tall man. This partnership worth 22 invaluable runs. And they've come quite quickly, actually, in the last few overs. We're now just 67 runs away from a Northamptonshire victory. I feel like time might be running out for Middlesex. The early loss of Hassan Azad for 14, LBW to Toby Rowland-Jones off just the 3rd or 2nd ball of the day.
Second ball of the day. Yeah.
Which will have just raised the heart rate of those up on the players' balcony from the Northamptonshire side. But these two, Tremaine and Whiteman, since then, just steadying their nerves once again.
Ryan Higgins still to bowl, of course, for Middlesex today. Looked a handful from the commentary box to face. John Simpson fairly aware of, I think, your plan in particular of to bat outside your crease and use your feet to Ryan Higgins. Came up to the stumps quite quick.
Yeah, I mean, my thinking was get into his channel where he's going to try and bowl most of his balls. Get myself there to then make that at me, so it's a bit easier to defend, and then anything slightly wider of that, you know, you can leave it. It ended up being the downfall, but, you know, it was the plan and stuck to it. I still think it's a good plan. I think it was just misexecution of going too far across.
I think that's so brilliant and so encouraging to hear that, as you said, it's your plan. It's worked for you. And why would you change it based on one moment, really?
Yeah, exactly. Just because it didn't work once doesn't mean it's a bad plan.
No.
It worked for 45 balls or whatever I faced previous to that. But yeah, unfortunately, the timing of it was what I was most disappointed about. I think with 5 or 6 balls left probably for me to face in the day. Kind of reminded me of Kent last week when it was 4 balls left after I got out again in that first innings. So it's just little bits of frustration creeping in, but I know if I keep sticking to those processes, it'll come right.
Yeah, absolutely. Toby Rowland-Jones continuing from the Lynn Wilson centre end this morning. Bowling to Sam Whiteman.
Said that we might expect to finish early in the afternoon session. Actually, should the runs keep coming at the pace they have in the last few overs, we could be done before lunch. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, of course, but
yeah, that'll be nice, little Sunday roast. But yeah, as you said, we don't mind how long it takes as long as we keep ticking those off. We don't mind taking it to the last ball. So.
Ooh, bit of lift from Toby Rowland-Jones early this morning from our end here. That was something that was quite noticeable early doors yesterday. The lift, particularly from this end, from Rowland-Jones and Helm, looked quite extravagant in comparison to the David Capel ends, and that appeared to kind of diminish as the day went on as well. I don't know whether because of the cloud dispersing above, it changed the condition of the pitch as that day went on.
Yeah, it definitely did seem to do that. The cloud cover here does play quite a big part in ball getting the movement that it does, and we thought it was quite funny as soon as we had to come out and bowl. There was no more clouds, but it is what it is, and our bowlers did fantastically to get us in this position. But it's exactly what we asked our groundsmen for, is that pace in the carry and the wicket, which is sometimes what we've lacked a bit in the past. So we're very happy to see it.
There was something that Saif, when we spoke to him on Thursday, was really complimentary about. He said it was slightly unusual to see so early and here at Northampton. Played into the leg side by Sam Whiteman. But again, as you said, a nice kind of a pleasant surprise to turn up and see it in the pitch so early, and kind of, as you said earlier, it benefits the bowlers, but as a batter, it's going to benefit you as well.
Yeah, I think we can be quite harsh on groundsmen as players, but I think we also got to give them credit where it's due, that they've managed, especially with the weather that has been around.
It looked a tough job on Friday, stood out in the rain in the middle of the outfield, didn't it?
Yeah, so for them to have produced this is all credit to them, really.
how much intel ahead of a match do you get as a side from the ground staff about what they think the pitch is going to do? Obviously, home advantage.
Yeah, we get a little bit. Obviously you got to use the knowledge that they can give you. Yeah, but you also, even up to the morning of the game, we can decide how much grass we leave on it, how much anything, things like that. We can decide leading into it. Do we want to go for a spinning wicket, a seam wicket? So they kind of follow what the coaching staff and the captains and things decide, and then hopefully they kind of produce exactly what we're looking for. Sometimes it doesn't go 100% according to plan, but it gets near on, but they do let us know, which is good, and it gives you that, as I said, little 1%ers that go a long way.
Well, I guess nobody actually knows how a cricket wicket's going to play until that first ball's been bowled on it. It can look a belter and then do lots, or it can have a green tinge and be flat as a pancake.
Yeah, which happens a lot, to be fair. At the end of the day, both teams got to play on that same wicket, so it's still who plays better over the 4 days. if you do have a bit of knowledge going into it, gives you that little bit of an edge at the start of play.
In these opening 2 games, feels to the sort of outside observer that the toss has played a big part. Are you finding that in these early season games, given how early in the year we are and how much weather we've had in the build up to the season, is that toss proving pretty crucial?
It definitely has in these first 2 games.
Big shout for Ethan Bamber. LBW Chris Tremaine goes for 13. LBW to Ethan Bamber. Sorry to interrupt you, Ricardo. 3rd wicket for Northamptonshire falls. 52 runs on the board, 67 to win now. Tremaine out. Captain Luke Proctor, the next man in.
Yeah, Tremaine did his job, I think. 39 balls, saw us through to the close last night and hung around for a fair few overs this morning. So no complaints for how Chris Tremaine played in not easy conditions. He's had a good game, Chris Tremaine. Another good game.
Another good game. As you said, a very watchful innings this morning.
He'll be gutted though, won't he? We were speaking to him last night and he was very non-committal, but you got the feeling he would have loved to have been out there at the end today.
Yeah, I mean, like any bowler, they love their batting.
Yeah.
They love to be that guy, especially him, his character. He always wants to be that guy that changes the game, wins games of cricket, and he's been dying to get over and play county cricket for years, as from what he says. And he actually said he's played, I don't know how many games he's played, but played 81 games, and the first game against Kent was the most nervous he's ever been.
Really?
He was just that excited to get out there and play county cricket.
Wow.
Testament really to the status of the competition, isn't it? To, as you say, be so nervous to make that day, or to make the debut for Northamptonshire in comparison to the 80 games or the 79 games that he played before. The next man for Northamptonshire is captain Luke Proctor. He joins Sam Whiteman at the crease. Sam Whiteman 12 not out, and Luke Proctor with 3 balls of this Ethan Bamber over to remain. I thought I saw Ryan Higgins having a little bit of a warm-up during the start of this over, so we might be about to see a bowling change as well.
Luke Proctor, exactly the kind of man you want to see walking out in this situation. Just a nervy little chase, but he won't be phased at all, will he?
No, he's so determined to win games of cricket, and he, like I said, perfect guy to be in the situation. He'll fight for his life for every run out there. Exactly what we want.
As he shapes up to face his first ball from Ethan Bamber. Defended into the offside nicely. Safe was really complimentary about Luke's mentality and temperament to lead from the front, not only with the bat but also with the ball as well. So really kind of an inspirational captain to have here at Northamptonshire, and one that an attitude that probably resonates throughout the rest of the dressing room.
Yeah, he's definitely a guy that leads by example. He's always up for the fight. He's the one guy when the back's against the wall, you want him to be out there with bat or ball in hand, and you know he's going to give it absolutely everything to come up on top, and more times than not, he does. And you see it a lot with the ball when he breaks that crucial partnership. He may only get 1 wicket in innings, but it more often than not is the most important. And
that's exactly what we saw on day 1, wasn't it? With
when he got
the wicket
out.
of John Simpson.
And that's the type of leader he is, and that's what he wants us to play like as a team. He wants everyone to be that guy, and I think you're seeing it.
Left well alone to end the wicket maiden for Ethan Bamber. Northamptonshire 52 for 3, 67 runs required for Northamptonshire. 10 overs, 4 maidens, 1 for 12 now for Ethan Bamber.
Yeah, and being as neutral as possible, I think Bamber deserved a wicket. He as much as we'd like to see Northamptonshire's progress unimpeded, you can't begrudge Ethan Bamber for picking up a wicket there after how he's bowled throughout this match.
Yeah, he's bowled well all game. Like we said earlier, I think he is going to be a real good prospect going forward for Middlesex and potentially higher.
Roland Jones carries on. Played into the offside. Soft hands by Sam Whiteman.
Yeah, and he offers a bit of variety, whereas Roland Jones and Helm are tall, bouncy bowlers. He's skiddier.
Yeah, it's nice to have variety in the attack, and the same thing like I was saying with the batters, the difference in styles and techniques makes it harder for bowlers to bowl at. It's the same thing when you've got different types of bowlers running in at you. You can't get in a rhythm as easy and kind of look to just line them up all the same way. You've got to play each bowler very differently, and that becomes a trickier situation.
Still plenty of encouragement from the Middlesex fielders for their captain. They still believe they're in this game. They still think they've got a good chance here. As Whiteman leaves that one well alone from Captain Toby Roland Jones. And I don't think that's anything that we wouldn't have come to expect from the cricket that we've seen so far during this game. It's been a real challenge against the seamers, as we've already spoken about this morning on stream, and first-hand experience from Ricardo as well. It never had the prospect of being an easy morning.
You'll have noticed this morning we've got both cameras back at each end of the ground. Yesterday we struggled with the camera from the David Capel end, but thanks to the incredible work of the team analyst James Maybe here at Northamptonshire, we are back up and running. I don't think he went home last night.
I think he was still doing laps of the ground, wasn't he?
Well, a ball had gone through the box that controls that camera. No one's put their hands up as to who it was. Wasn't you, was it, Ricardo?
No, definitely not.
little think
Yeah,
about
exactly.
it though, wasn't there?
Where is this
Suspect.
box?
Oh, right, okay, good, nice. Yeah, it did look like it had taken a bit of a pasting, but anyway, James looked very frustrated yesterday because he worked all day to try and get back up and running, and thanks to his efforts late into the night, James Maybe has got us up and running, which I'm sure you'll all agree has really enhanced our coverage here on the final day. So thank you to James Maybe. Do you work closely with James, Ricardo?
Yeah, he does a lot of work pre-game for us, and in training and things like that. He sets up. So, for instance, for this game against Middlesex, he's got a breakdown of every bowler they've got and every batter they've got, and what your plans are to either get them out or combat them. And he kind of puts up a whole presentation almost for that we all go in and we listen to, and we take notes, and it is really helpful to go in having a plan against each specific player, which helps a lot. I think it's something that's come into the game over the last few years, and it is massively helpful. It can only help going in with a better idea.
Soft hands by Luke Proctor there, played down into the ground, well fielded at second slip.
And is there a big difference, some players more into the analysis than others?
Yeah, definitely. There's some guys that are massive statos and real cricket badges, and then there's some guys that kind of like to just go out there and play it as they see it.
First runs for Luke Proctor, down to fine leg, comes back for 2. Luke Proctor's off the mark.
Good bit of fielding by Luke Holman.
Very good. 65 now required.
You find it goes a little bit along age lines? The guys who've been around a long time and that weren't necessarily brought up with the stats are a bit less keen to buy into someone telling them how to play a certain bowler?
A little bit, but I think not really in our change room, just because I think our biggest one is probably Josh Cobb.
Right.
He knows everything about every single player,
Yeah.
and he's got his own little stats analysis things that he looks at. So,
which makes having him as white ball captain probably quite handy, because that's T20 seems to be the format where matchups are discussed most often, and
yeah, and he leads that.
Yeah.
He's the one that leads that, and it helps with recruitment as well. He goes in and he looks at stats against whatever type of bowlers we're going to come against that year, and we go out and we get a batter that strikes at X amount against that type of bowling. And same thing, like this year we've gone and we've signed Ty. That's because Josh realised that we needed wickets in the middle overs. Who's the best in the world at taking wickets in the middle overs? Ty. That's right. That's who we go and get.
That's a fascinating insight.
2 more to the total. 2 more to Luke Proctor as well.
He also seems to know every single cricketer in the world. You tell a story about someone, he's like, yeah, I was speaking to him the other day. Come on, mate.
Is he a name dropper though?
No, he doesn't bring it up. But
okay.
if that name gets brought up, he's like, yeah, I was speaking to him the other day. He said this. Oh, you can't possibly know everything.
A student of the game.
He is. He really is.
What camp would you put yourself in, Ricardo? Badger or non-badger?
Say non-badger.
Okay.
I like to kind of play it how I see it.
See ball, hit ball.
Yeah, to an extent.
To make it sound as easy as that.
Yeah, I mean, I do watch the analysis package that we get given, and I look at it just so I have a rough idea. But I don't like to go into too much detail, because I like to see it as they'll have that same pack on you, and they might change something they do to get you out.
Yeah, and I guess
so
you can
it's not going to come out
things.
exactly how it maybe looks in those videos. So I like to keep it simple.
Yeah.
And just kind of play it how it comes.
Change of bowling, if that's just come through on the effects mic. Toby Rowland-Jones being replaced by Tom Helm from the Lynn Wilson centre end. Certainly an interesting tactic that we've kind of seen the taller, bouncier Middlesex bowlers from this end, almost for the entirety of the game, in comparison to the shorter, skiddier bowlers from the David Capel end.
Yeah, that's a good observation. What do you think behind that, Ricardo?
It's a bit interesting as well, because we felt that the ball actually did more from the other end, which is why we had Sando and Tremaine and Jack, even after his opening spell, follow from that side.
He was allowed 1 spell, wasn't he?
Yeah, we saw this end as more of the holding end. But I think they've gone with their main strike bowlers this end, which is interesting that they see it a bit different how we do.
And proves the point completely, doesn't it, about the statistics package that, as you said, they've got a package on yourself personally, and they might change something slightly that's in that package because they might see it slightly differently.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. Everyone sees the game in their own way, and that's how they've seen it, and they've bowled just as well from that end. And I don't know what the stats are on which end's taken more wickets throughout the game, but yeah, we felt that the other end was your wicket-taking end. Other than one green strip across just outside the right-handers off stump from this side, apparently our right-handers have been saying.
Pulled into the leg side for 4 runs from Sam Whiteman. That was a shot of authority.
Beautiful shot. Yeah, I'm imagining he's played that a few times at the Wacker.
Absolutely crunched, wasn't it? Slightly shorter of length from Tom Helm, and Sam Whiteman obliged and dispatched it into the square leg boundary.
don't bowl short to Sam Whiteman would probably be my uneducated advice.
Playing a miss there this time, trying to, on the back foot, playing through the offsides. Looks like that one just got a little bit more bounce than what Sam Whiteman was expecting. That could be your analytical package.
Well, I've had two things: see ball, hit ball.
Yes.
And don't bowl short to Sam Whiteman.
Might be the shortest.
I'm coming for you, James.
Might be the shortest analyst PowerPoint presentation of all time.
That would be good, actually, to just turn up one day into the meeting with one slide: see ball, hit ball.
Crunched. What a shot by Sam Whiteman through the covers, racing away over the outfield, and well, due to the weather I think that we've had around and the amount of rain that we got on Friday, plus the length of the boundary down here, that hasn't made its way. But Sam Whiteman has come back for 3, putting Luke Proctor on strike now for the last ball of the over. It'd be kind of similar to, do you remember the either the Red Nose Day or comic relief sketches from James Corden when he went into the England dressing room? I kind of get a similar kind of vibe.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to take that.
In pure humour and hilarity.
Bit of a lookalike.
That's fair. Right, I'm off. Deary me. Yeah, he didn't get much value for that shot, Sam Whiteman, did he? It was timed to perfection. The outfield's so slow and so the boundary so long that it didn't go for 4. If you don't get 4 for that shot, then you ain't getting much.
Yeah, I'm very well to change the subject there, Sam, as well. But you're
Don't bring it back.
absolutely right. No, you're absolutely right. It was a shot of the day, wasn't it? An absolutely stunning shot from Sam Whiteman through the covers, and as you said, such a long way out here to the deep cover boundary, and so the grass is so green that it must have been a good kind of 20-30 foot short of even getting to the road. But we have another change of bowling. Ethan Bamber has been replaced by Ryan Higgins from the David Capel end.
As a batter, Ryan Higgins has been excellent in this game, Ricardo. I've not been bad with the ball either, but his tactic of using his feet, saw you sort of adopt that a little bit in the second innings. It's, I guess, a way of negating that lateral movement.
Yeah, you kind of negate it, and you almost take out a couple modes of dismissal.
Yeah.
You try and get outside the line, so it takes LBW outside of the equation, and 99% of the time it takes bowled out the equation.
Big appeal. Nothing from umpire Nigel Long there. Sam Whiteman not looking interested in the slightest. Well, a bit of an appeal from Higgins and Simpson, wasn't there? Ooh, very close.
Yeah, essentially, Whiteman took a step down there as well, didn't he, to Higgins, who's exactly the kind of bowler that he bowls that horrible length, right, where you don't know whether you're front foot or back foot.
Yeah, he has such control, and he gets it to do a bit both ways from that challenging length, which is why he's been so successful. So if you can get out there and take away 2 of his dismissals, then you're stacking percentages in your favour. That's the thought process behind it anyway.
I think that was retaliation from your lookalike comment, Ricardo.
Remind me that
I think so. I think so.
Down.
Yeah, he doesn't take much personally, Sam, but I think he might have taken that one. Defended again by Sam Whiteman. We got to be nice to these guys, Sam. We want them back in the box.
I was just dealing in facts.
We're the ones that have to take the flack and the stick from the players.
Well, I think if the shots are fired first, then
keeper up to the stumps already. John Simpson, as we spoke earlier, very quick to come up to the stumps and take that option away from Sam Whiteman. And a note of his skill and quality that John Simpson's got to be able to come up to the stumps quite so confidently to a guy like Ryan Higgins.
Yeah, I think exactly the right decision, especially when they saw Whiteman looking to use his feet. Just take that option away from him. Not many better glovemen than Simpson, Ricardo.
No, I think he is one of the best out there in the country, I'd say. Behind folks, obviously, who's I'd put up there with the best in the world with the gloves. Yeah, it's really good company to be in. Be in that conversation is a testament to how good he really is.
Big shot by Sam Whiteman. Runs down to deep point for a single, which completes Ryan Higgins' first over of the day, which has gone for 1. Score 64 for 3. Sam Whiteman 20 not out. Luke Proctor 4 not out. And the target, the runs remaining, in fact, is down to 55 now.
Yeah, you're listening and watching the Northamptonshire live stream powered by Dafabet with Ricardo Vasconcelos, Dan Jadovich, and me, James Corden.
Oh dear.
Just that's my face. If anyone wants to disagree with
we get a
Ricardo.
split screen? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, I think that's. I'll message the producer now.
The last time you see me. I'm cheaper than James Corden.
Big shot, upish. It's plugged like a 9-iron, that, isn't it, into the green. Sam Whiteman picks up another couple. Looking to get a little bit more aggressive now, Sam Whiteman. Maybe going up a gear.
Yeah, I think he's going to try latch onto anything short. I think especially with the short boundary that side, I think it's an area that he's obviously really strong in, and he's going to look to take advantage of that.
It's a cracking shot, that, isn't it? Off drive, beats the fielder at mid-off as the ball. Well, I started to say race, but I think it's begun to trickle, hasn't it, down to the boundary, and just stopped.
Short.
Just stopped, but Sam Whiteman comes back for 3. Another good-looking shot.
He needs new bats.
Yeah.
He needs some new bats, clearly.
Or a new outfield.
Yeah. Yeah, those are 2 shots that he shouldn't even need to run for.
No.
Yeah, glorious.
Absolutely crunched. We have got 770 people watching the live stream with us, so thanks everybody for joining us here on the Northamptonshire YouTube channel. Hopefully you're enjoying yourself. Hopefully you're enjoying this enthralling game of cricket. As Luke Proctor wears one there from Tom Helm. If you are new to the channel, be lovely if you were to subscribe. I think we're just over 50,000 subscribers now on the YouTube channel. Plenty more live streams coming across the summer with all of the county championship games, the T20 Blast, the One Day Cup as well, plus various bits of YouTube-specific content that I believe is going to be made and broadcast on the channel over the year as well. And it's just a little free like button on there as well, isn't there, that you can hit. As Proctor defends that one from Tom Helm. That means you got to come back next week, Ricardo.
Oh, it squared him up.
Didn't carry again.
Didn't carry. They are deep. The Middlesex slips, anticipating that tall bounce that Tom Helm gets, but on this occasion, once again, Luke Proctor playing with soft hands.
It's a couple now, isn't it, from Luke Proctor from either end?
Yeah. He's played that when the ball is doing a little bit then a good idea to play with soft hands.
Yeah, soft hands when you're defending is what everyone tries to do. Just gives you that chance that even if you do nick it, it does go down like that.
And that is the end of Tom Helm's over. That's the first hour of the play, of the day even, complete. 50 runs to win for Northamptonshire. Luke Proctor 4 not out, Sam Whiteman 25. And still incredibly interesting, Sam.
You know, I think it would take something pretty special now from Middlesex, but certainly haven't let the pressure off. Often you see with small chases, you know, if a side starts to get close, then the runs flow a bit more easily, but not in that territory yet.
No, not quite, not quite. It's still going to be tough, and I'm sure Middlesex here are going to make the Northants batters work for every single run that they're going to need, every one of those 50.
Should Northants get over the line, Ricardo, how big a win early season is this?
Yeah, massive. Winning builds confidence, and which then builds momentum. And once you start getting on a roll, the possibilities can even overachieve what we thought was possible. So get that first one under the belt this year, hopefully, will be massive for us and our hopes for the season.
And I guess with games coming so thick and fast in this first block of the season, 6 games in 7 weeks, that if you can get on to a bit of a run, then you can set yourself up really nicely for the season as a whole in this first tranche of Championship cricket.
Yeah, the early season success would it be put you in great position for not only the Championship cricket down the line, but the other formats as well. Because as a squad, you've got that confidence in you that you could win games and compete well. So you start ticking those boxes, you kind of get that momentum rolling. You get on a roll, and that just runs through the whole squad.
Little lowy there for Sam Whiteman to deal with from Ryan Higgins. I'm not convinced Sam Whiteman thought that bounced quite as much as what it should have done.
It's interesting that Simpson has gone back again. Maybe that's because he doesn't see Whiteman necessarily being quite as keen to come down the track as other players.
I suppose from a batter's perspective, and maybe from a keeper's perspective as well, if you're prepared to change that up as well, it will, even though you might like to be batting outside of your crease, if the keeper John Simpson is up to the stumps for half a dozen balls, back to the stumps for another couple, and back up to the stumps, that I guess is another one of those 1%ers that we were talking about earlier that makes your life as a batter slightly more challenging.
Yeah, for sure.
And Whiteman has a nibble at that one.
Yeah, it then changes the length that you're facing, which again is just being different is what makes things hard in a way. Being different but being consistent.
Yeah,
kind of sounds a bit weird, but that's kind of what makes it cricket hard when you've got different things coming at you but still being very consistently challenging. So if like the keeper coming up and going back makes the batter adjust, then they might make that little error thinking the ball's a bit fuller than it is, or not as tight to off stump as it actually is, and they leave and they get bowled, or just anything. 1% difference can be a massive thing.
Looking ahead, Ricardo, obviously that game against Hampshire starting here at Wantage Road on Thursday. Just give us an idea of what the next 3 days will be like for you in terms of preparation for a back-to-back game. Obviously no travel, which is always a bonus.
Yeah, so tomorrow will be rest, really. There'll be nothing on tomorrow, and then Tuesday there will be an optional session for guys that want to come in and and keep their workloads up. So me personally, I'll be here on Tuesday trying to hit as many balls as I can. Wednesday again, that'll be a full squad training, so we'll all be in training that morning, and then yeah, back in for Thursday. So it's one day off really, and back into training. The no travel definitely makes it easier, but we would just, the only thing that would change is you'd leave Wednesday morning, you'd travel down there, and then you'd train in the afternoon at the away ground. That would be the difference, but a lot more comfortable not having to get on the bus.
Sleeping in your own bed and
Yeah.
getting your own home comforts and all of that good stuff. Do you travel down together?
Yeah, we get on the bus depending on where it is. I'd say if we were traveling to Warwickshire, for example, that isn't too far away, I think we'd all just drive down in our own time. But like Kent, your Somersets, your things that are a bit further out, we all get on the bus and we go down together.
Who do you room with, Ricardo?
Changing. Last year I had my own room, which was great.
Captain's
I was
privilege,
captain
yeah.
last year. I gave up that privilege. Now I have to share. I've had Safe. I roomed with Safe a lot. I used to room with Ben Curran a lot, and Brandon. In Kent, I roomed with Gus, which was a new one for me. First time I've roomed with Gus, so it kind of changes. So yeah, bit of everything really. Don't really have I think my only preference is to keep it consistent, which doesn't happen. So
Yeah.
Get to know that person's habits.
yeah,
Yeah.
don't mind who it is as long as it's the same person.
Yeah, I get you.
But to be honest, there's no one in the squad really that I would not want to
No,
share with.
fair
So
enough.
it doesn't really bother me.
I've had a brilliant idea of how we could make the car journeys a bit more exciting though for the local games. I know a guy that could probably host some YouTube content like carpool karaoke style.
I'm not biting. Listen, if they pay me as much as him, I'll do anything.
There we have. Well, there's evidence now. It's out there.
Are you someone on the coach down that'll be involved in the card school, or do you put your headphones on, watch a bit of Netflix or whatever?
I think our head card provider was Nathan Buck. So we all got on the coach last week, and
Yeah.
no one had cards with them. So I think we need to. Someone's got to take it upon themselves to go and buy a couple decks of cards and
Become the croupier.
yeah. So last week, everyone was kind of in headphones in, Netflix on, because there was nothing else to do really. But normally we do play some cards, and there's some punishments in there. You've got your ear flicks, your nose flicks, things, little things like that.
That shot again from Sam Whiteman. He'll get 2 this time, just waiting for the ball to pass him outside the off stump and then dabbing it down to third. He moves on to 27. Luke Proctor on 4, partnership worth 19. Northamptonshire 71 for 3, requiring a further 48 runs to win. They're not coming easily, these runs, but slowly but surely Northants inch their way towards a first championship win of the season, a first championship win against Middlesex, or indeed a first-class win against Middlesex since 2010. It would be the first win for the side in 9 attempts against Middlesex in first-class cricket. So breaking that particular hoodoo.
So the first no ball of the game, I think, there by Ryan Higgins. There hasn't really been any extras at all, I don't think, throughout either. Well, I mean, the odd bye and leg bye, but nothing with regards to wides and no balls.
No.
I don't think. have had a message come through from Martin on Twitter, who's said many thanks for the 4 days of excellent coverage. Verbal and visible, a great addition and a level of professionalism a few other counties could do with. So thank you very much, Martin. Very kind of you to get in contact. And if you've got any questions whilst Ricardo is with us for the remainder of this session, feel free to get in contact with us at Northants CCC on Twitter. And well, we'll ask Ricardo what the questions are.
Yeah, thanks, Martin. That's very nice to hear from you and greatly appreciated. Thanks for your company. Thanks for everyone's company over the last 3 days. Of course, we didn't enjoy the pleasure of your company on Friday when that day was completely washed out, but Thursday, Saturday and today, thank you so much for being with us. Sam Whiteman now with his top score for Northants in his early stages of his county career for Northamptonshire, and he's playing himself into form. It's nerve-wracking saying that just as the bowler releases the ball.
I got stung yesterday. I'm not doing it again. I think I complimented Lewis McManus as to how well he was batting, and came back and bit me.
It always seems to happen that.
It's horrible.
It's nerve-wracking, especially when you're doing it for the club. And so you're conscious that the players are listening, or will be watching the clip back. And if you put the mockers on them, then you feel like you're not going to be very popular.
Nah, I don't think anyone's that
Superstitious.
or,
Good.
or whatever it is.
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, wait till Dan
Yeah.
takes his first five for.
Yeah, the request has come through from the dressing room as I get hauled out by the collar, dragged down the stairs, and
It's fine when we're bowling.
yeah.
Just a word for Rob Keogh so far this season. He's been playing a different game to some people. It seems he's been scoring runs for fun.
Yeah, he started the season excellently, like he has done last 2 seasons before. It's 3 seasons in a row. I think now that he's got 100 first game of the year, which is a great stat to have because it just sets your rest of the season up, really. And whenever you got someone in the middle scoring runs consistently, it's great for the team, and there's just a confidence around the guys in the dressing room whenever he's out there.
Yeah,
which just testament to how he's playing at the moment.
He's perfectly suited to these conditions, isn't he? With the way he's able to cover his off stump and get forward and negate any movement.
Yeah, that's I think a strength being with how tall he is as well. Being able, his stride forward is nice and big, which, as you said, can negate some of that movement, which he's taken advantage of fully. But yeah, once Rob gets going, he's one of the best people to watch, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So good to watch, and he's just so free-flowing and quick scoring, and he just puts bowlers under pressure.
And even in defence, the ball just seems to come out the middle of the bat all the time.
Yeah, he's not one of those that kind of have, in defence, kind of squirts through to points. His defence go bang to mid off or bang to cover, which is exactly where he's meaning it to go. And he's one of the guys I love batting with the most, to be honest. We both have that same kind of tempo, and which then bowlers feel a bit more under pressure, which in turn gives you a bit more loose deliveries to score off.
Takes, I should imagine, a bit of pressure off you as well when you see Rob walking out to the crease to meet you, knowing, as you said, a guy that you've got such a good relationship with. In order to build that partnership, I suspect it probably brings a bit of a smile to your face.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a few really good partnerships where we've both gone on and got really big scores. So you've got that kind of, as you say, almost like a bond. And doing that, I also lived with Rob for a little bit. So
okay.
Yeah, we are really good friends. So it's just knowing each other's games really well and kind of feed off each other that way.
I guess that relationship almost becomes a bit subconscious as well at points. You see guys that have batted together for so long, for periods of time.
Oh, that's one way to get 4 runs.
Don't mind those.
Sam Whiteman in 2 minds as to whether to play that. He, in the end, sort of half pulled out, and it just hit the bottom of his bat, on a bottom edge, and John Simpson had no chance of stopping that, and that is 4 more to the total, which Northamptonshire will accept gladly.
It's the reverse Luke Proctor shot that we saw at the end of day 1, wasn't it? Kind of both tried to take the bat away from it.
Yeah,
and
that was a hell of a shot. Yeah.
Luke's went down to deep third, and Sam's gone down to fine leg. I'm not. As someone that's probably scored professional cricket runs, they probably don't really think too much about it. But I'd be so curious as to know whether he's actually, whether like Proctor played that shot on purpose that day.
Nah.
No, fair enough.
He's tried to pull out of it.
Yeah.
And as he's hit it, he said himself that he thought he hit it straight to gully. He thought he was out.
He certainly had a wry smile as it flew over the top of the cordon.
Yeah, I think what he said was he was looking to pull it, and then as he was about to, he remembered that deep square was out, and he didn't want to get caught out there, so he kind of stopped himself. And
still middled it though.
Yeah, those are the best runs. Runs you don't mean are the best runs.
Because you know it's wound the bowler up as well.
Yeah, winds the bowler up. Oh, lovely. Honestly, they're the best.
Well, that's nice to hear that most of my runs then are the best runs. $40 to win now. And Ricardo said earlier on about taking it in chunks of 10. And great take, John Simpson.
Tidy work down the leg side, wasn't it?
That could easily have been 4 byes.
Questions coming from Julie Nichols on Twitter for you, Ricardo. We've kind of touched on it before, but something maybe to expand on. In terms of preparation against the opposition, use Middlesex as a specific example, why not? How much detail do you go into when planning fielding placements, bowling matchups? I suppose, sorry, I'll continue that after this delivery. Has that changed for you much from your captaincy in previous years now to going back into the ranks, for want of the better kind of term?
Yeah, I mean, obviously last year I was a lot more involved in that. I had to know with every batter coming in, right, does he, like, you have percentages of he's got out this many times doing this and this and this, and you have their strong areas and their weak areas. So, for example, some left-handers, like you'll see Higgins here, been around the wicket constantly. So he'll have an idea of this batter is more susceptible to getting out when he's around the wicket as opposed to over the wicket. You know their scoring zones, so you try to block those with field placements. Like a lot of teams to me now have moved their cover more to a cover point and have their mid off quite wide, because that'll be them. And in their analysis, have seen that I score a lot of my runs through cover point, so they've got to block that up. So that's down to James. He kind of puts everything together and makes it real simple for us to see. So you've got 2 or 3 bullet points on every batter saying gets up 75% of the time, I'll be bowled. So you know you've got to be a little bit more straighter, or he's a nick-off candidate. And yeah, you kind of dumb it down for us cricketers.
Not to discredit yourself.
James kind of dumbs it down for us to make it real easy to understand.
Yeah. Well, I guess you can get to a point where I suppose you would get over-informed. You could end up with so much information that you end up in a position where you kind of think, well, I know this is what I should be doing, but also we've kind of thought about this bit as well, and then we've got to consider this bit of information and this bit of information. Whereas in reality, when you're out there in the heat of battle, you're not possibly able to recite all of that information. You've got to focus on the key points.
Yeah, which is why, as I said, James just goes each batter 3 little things. There you go. But to be honest, it all comes down to get top of off with the occasional bouncer. That's bowling,
Okay.
really. Because that's where...
Oh, and I think that carried.
I think that is a drop catch, isn't it? I believe. Sharp chance.
Yeah, probably the fielder will have wanted or would have backed himself to take it. Higgins there at gully. Yeah, and I think that goes down as a chance. Yeah, Sam Whiteman escapes. It's his favoured scoring area, so they've got the man there in the gully. He gets away with it.
Lift.
Yeah.
Bit of lift from Tom Helm still in this pitch today.
Can I just give a quick nod to the Northamptonshire women's side, who are starting their T20 campaign today with 2 matches against Suffolk, and they've made a great start in that double header, having won the toss and elected to bowl. Northamptonshire have reduced Suffolk to 54 for 9 off 19 overs.
Blimey.
So
that's been tough going.
yeah, let's have a look. 3 wickets for Bethan Solomon and 3 wickets for Anya Laig as well. So great start to the Women's County T20 for Northamptonshire.
Question from Drew for you. Does Vasco see himself wicket-keeping this year in any format? You're a good friend of the players. AB, I think, has tried to stitch you up there as well with a media day insight, which I don't know whether I'm allowed to say out loud or not.
Why? What's he Yeah, it's not wrong.
Well, read it out for us, Dan.
So to provide an extra bit of context, Ricardo refused to take any media day photos with his keeping gear this year.
Just because they don't always turn out to look that good.
Okay.
Do some weird poses with the keeping gloves.
Okay,
I find.
fair enough.
Not for anything else. I've still been working on my keeping throughout the winter. But no,
Okay.
is the answer. I am perfectly happy being the backup to Lewis, because if I'm keeping, that means he's probably gone down injured, which we don't want.
Not
More
at all.
than happy to do it.
Yep.
That's not what I'm saying, but yeah, Lewis is our #1 gloveman for a reason,
And if the photos don't look good on Instagram,
exactly, don't need them.
we don't need them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't need them.
precisely.
Take 10 minutes off the day.
Yeah, it was a long day. To be fair.
Yeah, there's this weird trend on county social media this year for saying how many photos have been taken at media day.
I've just shown Ricardo a couple of pictures, and the response was, "That's not bad, actually."
Yeah, but I'll find you the ones that I've done in previous years.
Oh, okay, okay. So maybe it's AB that's been stitching you up then.
Probably. He likes to do that.
Lewis McManus does take a good picture, doesn't he?
Good-looking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does help. He wouldn't look the same if I was to.
No, I don't know. Ryan Higgins continuing from the David Capel end. 1 for 16 from his 7 overs so far. So Northants have lost 2 wickets on day 4.
Oh wow.
That's what they used to make us do.
That's an interesting pose.
It's got the the gloves next to your
Looks like someone's sort
next
of
to your face.
holding you up.
Yeah.
If we can get the camera back on in the studio at some point, I'll hold Ricardo's phone up to the camera and let
Yeah.
everybody
If I can get it
everybody
on
see.
a full screen.
Sam Whiteman calls Luke Proctor through for a quick single.
Beautiful.
The man at cover a little slow off the mark, and so that's a further run. Yeah, if you can hear us, producer, we're ready with
We're
Ricardo's keeping shots.
he doesn't want to because he's the one that made me take those photos. He
Really doesn't. I don't know whether the state of your screen protector.
Yeah, I do need a new one.
There we have it. Don't know how close do I have to go here to.
Bit further, a bit closer.
Blimey, my
Yeah,
arms aren't that long.
I'll do it.
Look at that. I'd love to know.
Just look, someone's, you know, trying to nick your wallet.
Yeah. Yeah, hands up.
I would like to know what the comment was to make you take that pose as well. Of all the things that you could have done with, we've seen such a good kind of couple of pictures from Lewis, and you had to kind of sit there with your hands.
Honestly, that was a few years. That was the standard one for,
Yeah.
for the keeper. Yeah, Alex made me take that as well.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
No, that's better.
Very edited that though. Made it very dark.
Oh, and that's a good ball from Ryan Higgins, just beating Luke Proctor's outside edge.
That's what happens when Alex gets given free reign of Photoshop. Who I have to say, as we're talking about Alex, and providing absolutely no context whatsoever, does all of the media work here at Northamptonshire and has put this live stream on and made it all happen for you guys. And so massive shout out to Alex for making all of this stuff happen.
It's dragged down by Higgins, and Proctor swivels with the pull shot, but it's sent straight out to the man at deep square leg.
He's just trying to make Ricardo laugh now.
Yeah, he's trying to make out that that was a Getty Images photo, not one that he made me take, but he has made me take those exact ones.
What's been really nice to see as well over the last couple of days is the relationship at the club amongst the players, the relationship with the players, with the staff like Alex, and as you've spoken so highly of James as well. It's really, really nice to see it, like kind of everybody getting on and working together so well at the club.
Yeah, it's almost
Feels like a family, I
family
think.
environment. I mean, we've got, if you look at, say, Surrey squad numbers compared to ours, or even Leicester squad numbers compared to ours, we have a small squad, we always have, and you end up spending a lot of time together. So if you don't get on, it's not going to be a very enjoyable experience. But yeah, we all, especially once the media guys move back that side, you end up wandering in and sitting down having a chat. So it is really nice.
Yeah. Tom Helm looking to tempt Luke Proctor into the hook or the pull, with the man positioned out deep on the square leg boundary, but Luke Proctor having none of it. Very happy just to occupy the crease. Sam Whiteman doing the majority of the scoring in this partnership of 31. Luke Proctor just holding up an end, sapping the energy from the Middlesex side. And that's the beauty of having all this time, is that you just wait until Middlesex give you something. You don't have to take any risks. And
Yeah, once it starts getting a bit closer to the score, they're going to have to start searching for it, which will then give us a few more opportunities to score.
Two slips, gully, point, cover, mid-off, mid-on. And deep square leg as Helm continues bowling at Luke Proctor.
That's I've been sent through another photo. Actually, were you asked to do this pose and refused?
No, this was when we were given
free reign.
free reign to,
Right, okay.
to do any pose that we
Gotcha.
wanted to do. So for context, this is a picture of James Sales with his finger to his head.
Is that like the
Oh,
emoji?
We'll get it back up
He's-
on the...
He's doing the Marcus Rashford celebration.
Oh, okay.
Is what he's trying to do, and his plan is to
Big shout for LBW, but I think two noises.
post it on his Instagram, tagging Marcus Rashford.
Right.
And because James Sales has a verified tick on his
Ooh,
Instagram,
that's,
it will pop up in
Oh, as a priority.
as a priority
Yeah.
message in Rashford's
Strategy.
DM.
Wise.
So hopefully it gets put on his Instagram story, which
wanna-
will get James a lot of followers. That's
Yeah.
a review of that.
You didn't fancy
that
that one
picture.
yourself, no?
I thought about it actually because I'm a United fan,
Yeah.
but
No.
no.
Some extravagant in-swing in that previous delivery, which I think actually probably was pad first, but was outside the line. First time we've really seen the ball in this innings swinging through the air significantly. Most of the movement so far has been off the pitch. Certainly those deliveries that have taken wickets.
I think, well, particularly in that over, Tom Helm was quite kind of keen to test out the middle of the pitch, wasn't he, as well? So
Well, they had that man posted back. I think they underestimate Luke Proctor's patience. Well, we're going to get a change of tactic here with Luke Holman coming on for his first bowl of the game, I believe. Yeah,
it is.
what a time to
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
But I guess you're used to that as a spinner in April. Actually, a great bit of captaincy yesterday when Luke brought on Rob Keogh just to try and stem Roland Jones's stroke play, and he ran past one that Keogh had just pushed through outside the off stump. You know, it wasn't necessarily, you weren't thinking, oh, this is a spinner's wicket, but it did the job.
No, yeah, we weren't thinking it was spinner's wicket, but against guys that are lower down the order, spin is always a very good option. 'Cause
Yeah.
when they do get the chance to bat in the net, it's always against a stick. It's always against the seamers. They don't face a lot of spin bowling. And it always seems to make something happen. And with Roland Jones looking to be as aggressive as he was yesterday, we thought, why don't we give him the chance to hit it towards this long boundary and see if he takes it on, which he did try to do, and Keezy luckily saw him coming, and
That's a glorious shot from Sam Whiteman. Placement, timing, and 4 runs to take him to 38. Just a little loose from Luke Holman, and Sam Whiteman waited before just dabbing that ball through point for 4.
Lovely shot, wasn't it? Runs required now down to 32. Always, there's something really, really nice to see about just to see a leg spin bowler. Something quite nice to watch. Interesting start first up. It's I think caught Sam Whiteman a little bit off guard with Luke Holman's first ball, but figured it out quite quickly come his second one. Always a difficult skill as well, isn't it, to master?
Yeah, what I liked about that Roland Jones dismissal, it was he just knew the way Rob Keogh bowled that ball. He just knew he couldn't resist coming charging down the track, so he just pushed it out wide, pushed it through, and lo and behold, Lewis McManus did the rest.
yeah, Keezy's
Another
one of
great
the
shot
best.
from Sam Whiteman. Just intelligent cricket. I'm not sure it will go all the
I think
way.
that might be holding up, isn't it, for another couple?
Yeah,
No, for
Higgins
3.
does the fielding. Another 3 for Sam Whiteman, who moves into the 40s. 41 for Sam Whiteman off 70 balls with 5 fours.
Yeah, Keezy's actually one of the best at watching the batter as he's about to let go of it. He always seems to see the batter coming. So he gets a lot of people out that way.
Outside.
And another,
Sorry, it is you.
it's all right. Another couple for Northants there. Runs flowing there. 9 off that over. Down to 27 runs to win now for Northamptonshire. 92 for 3 now.
Yeah, last chance saloon. I think it was a. Well, let's just see if anything happens with the leggy. But
Yeah. I think from our perspective up here with that particular wicket for Toby Rowland, or for Rob Keir of Roland Jones yesterday, there was a couple. I think Roland Jones was really quite enthusiastic to come down the pitch and defend back to Rob Keir, and it felt as though it just started to kind of set him up really for that delivery. Kind of realised that Roland Jones was looking to come down to the pitch without actually being that attacking. Threw that one a bit wider, as Sam said, and broke what was looking a fairly dangerous partnership at the time. As Simon Whiteman pulls that one into the leg side. Has that gone all the way for 6, I believe? And we are going to let Ricardo go as the game gets down to the more exciting thing. But thank you so much, Ricardo, for coming up this morning. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you for having me, guys.
thanks, Ricardo.
Sure,
yeah,
I'll be back.
fascinating insights.
I hope so. Nice to meet you as well.
You too.
Cheers.
Cheers, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Brilliant insight again. Every one of the players we've chatted with so far during
Yeah.
this day has been brilliant. Sam Whiteman now 47, 21 to win as Tom Helm carries on, and that's flashed into the offside for a single. Certainly looks like there's an intent here from Northamptonshire to get this done and dusted before lunch, isn't there?
Yeah, for sure. And as we speculated, once that target gets closer and closer, the runs tend to flow a little bit freely. You'll hear in the effects mic that Middlesex have gone a bit quiet. I think they know that the last rites are being read. Yeah, what a privilege to have those guys up over the last 3 days. Like you say, the insight, and actually particularly today with someone who's been playing in this game. Shot.
It's 4 more. Is it 4 more? It's quite misleading, isn't it, with the pace of the outfield? It's not going to be 4.
Yeah, I just wonder if
It's going to be another 3 as Sam Whiteman comes back.
Just wonder if Higgins got a hand on it.
I think he might have done to take that end, and that is 100 up for Northamptonshire now in this run chase. 18 runs the target, isn't it?
17, I think.
17 runs the target. Apologies.
Yeah, and you can hear a healthy round of applause. Lots of people have taken advantage of free entry at Wantage Road today. And very grateful to them as well as to those tuning in.
Ooh, bit of lift from Tom Helm. The last shot, the last scoring shot there, brought the 50 partnership up between these two batters as well for Northamptonshire. So an incredibly crucial partnership to take Northamptonshire closer to the finish line. And I think probably what Ricardo was saying, complimenting Luke Proctor's style and mentality and leadership. As he said, there's no other guy that you'd want to see walking out in a pressured situation than Captain Luke Proctor.
Just no ego in the way he plays. You know, he's let Sam Whiteman take the leading role, and he's just made sure that the wickets have dried up.
Into the leg side this time for another single. Whiteman moves to 49. 16 required now for Northamptonshire. That 6 first ball of the over was dispatched, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's clearly when it's banged in, Sam Whiteman has plenty of experience, as we suggested he might, given his Western Australian origins, playing on those whacker pitches, hard Australian pitches.
And Luke Proctor not wanting the single off Tom Helm's last ball, so Sam Whiteman will take the strike for the next over. As we say, 16 to win. Wendell is getting excited. Having a chat with, is that James down there? Or is that Ricardo on his way back round?
Ricardo on his way back, yeah.
He's obviously complimenting on his commentary ability.
Or giving him some tips.
Or that.
But yeah, like you said, the sort of atmosphere around the club with not just players and staff, but also supporters. Lovely place to be. Certainly helps when the team are doing well.
Holman, the leggy to continue to Sam Whiteman on 49. On 49 now. 16. The required runs for Northamptonshire. Oh, and that started with a big full toss, which has come all the way down. It's a fine leg for 4 with a no ball thrown into the mix as well. So 5 off the total as Sam Whiteman goes to 50. His first 50 for Northamptonshire, and as important of an innings and a score as you could possibly wish for on a day like today, Sam.
Yeah, so pleased for Sam Whiteman. That'll do him the world of good after a tricky start in not the most straightforward conditions in early April. So for him to make his first half century in a Northamptonshire jersey will do him the world of good, and I think bodes very well for the rest of his stay here at Northampton. So well played, Sam Whiteman.
7th 50 of his career as well. As we said earlier, spends more of his time at the top of the order in Australia, but obviously a very, very handy player when required to bat 4, as that one goes into the offside for a single. The score, or the runs required now, down into single figures for Northamptonshire, with captain Luke Proctor taking the strike. Apologies. I believe he's had more 50s than what I've just quoted him. That's a single there. Down to 8 now.
Yeah, 26 first-class 50s for Sam Whiteman now.
Apologies.
And he's not that far off 5,000 first-class runs into the 4,900s.
And one more out to deep point. Down to 7. 15 minutes left before lunch. You can hear Wendell in the background there on the stump mics.
Yeah, the victory chant being started early by superfan Wendell Pemberton.
$112 for 3 as Holman comes into bowl. Last ball of leg spinners over. With another full toss into the leg side there. Going to come back for at least 2. I think it will just be 2. 2 runs off the last ball. Score 114 for 3 now. Northamptonshire just require 5 to win their first match of the county championship this summer. Five off 69 overs.
Yeah, the run rate not an issue, that's for sure. 0.07 runs per over.
And we have Sam Robson going to bowl what might well be the last over of the match.
Yeah, I think that is, with no disrespect to Sam Robson, a wave probably of the white flag. Save the seamers from any harm, and they'll go again in their next fixture.
It's going to be some more wrist spin from Sam Robson.
Aussie twang as he sets his field.
Yep. Now, we spoke to Freddie yesterday, and Shane Warne wasn't on his list of leg spinning icons, but I suspect Australian Sam Robson might be the first on the list for him, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
One more to Sam Whiteman. Not going to take the fielder on for the second. No need really. 4 now, the required runs.
Yeah, Middlesex have Nottinghamshire at Lords next week, so another stern challenge. There are no easy games in Division 1, to wheel out another cliche.
Proctor into the leg side, and another easy single taken. Can I just thank everybody that has tuned in over the past 3 days of cricket that we've had on this YouTube channel, on this live stream. It's been an absolute pleasure for myself personally, and I'm sure for Sam as well, to commentate on this game. And that is crunched into the leg side by Sam Whiteman, that goes away for 4, and Northamptonshire win against Middlesex by 7 wickets in the county championship. What a brilliant performance by Northamptonshire, and a start to their fantastic, well, what we hope to be a fantastic campaign for them in 2023.
Yeah, as the players shake hands, I think when you look back, Northamptonshire on top throughout, really. Obviously, we had a fight back from Middlesex with the ball yesterday, but that 50-run lead in the first innings, or 49-run lead, proving absolutely crucial in the end. So huge credit to Rob Keogh for his second score of the season, 75 not out in that innings. But of course, the early work done by the bowling unit, winning the toss and bowling. Northamptonshire seamers were sensational, really, in both innings, making sure that not only did Northants get off to a great start, but Middlesex were not let back into the game. So huge credit to that bowling unit. Wonderful to see Chris Tremaine reach 300 first-class wickets in his second game for Northamptonshire, but also to see Ben Sanderson back and doing what Ben Sanderson does best, which is taking wickets with metronomic bowling and letting the ball talk. Good stuff as well from Jack White, Luke Proctor and Gareth Berg chipping in as well. And of course, wonderful to see Sam Whiteman get his Northamptonshire career up and running properly after a bit of a false start. He finishes with 60, ably supported by the totally unruffled captain Luke Proctor. He finishes with 60 not out, and a hearty round of applause from the local supporters who have come down today to Wantage Road to see their side take a 7-wicket victory against Middlesex. Just to echo Dan's comments, absolute pleasure, privilege to have been able to call this game. Massive thanks to everyone who's tuned in throughout. Thanks to you, Dan. Really enjoyed your company.
It's been really, really good fun. Genuinely, it's been great working with you. And what better game to start on than this one that we've just had over the last 3 days. Thank you very much for everybody that's made it possible. Thanks, as you said, everybody that's tuned in throughout. And thanks so much to Safe and Freddie and Ricardo for taking the time out of their days to come and join us and add that extra layer that you and I wouldn't be able to bring on our own. And hopefully it's a product that, as I say, you've enjoyed, and hopefully it's a product that we can develop and make better. And as this season goes on, it becomes a more and more enjoyable experience watching the Northants live stream here on the YouTube channel.
We'll both be back on Thursday for the visit of Hampshire. And as Northamptonshire take 19 points from the game, Middlesex 3, all that leaves is for us to say thank you and goodbye.
See you next week.